Now, is it just me, or is anyone else disappointed that they didn't tell the story of John Paul Jones and his role in the American Revolution? Like, that dude was the ultimate badass. He was like the first American pirate or something. It shouldn't be that hard to add another song to the show, right? Maybe I could come up with something like that myself. Well, the year was 1770. So Hamilton is the Tony Award-winning musical that tells the story of Alexander Hamilton through song, dance, and rap, but mostly rap. It was written by and originally starred Lin-Manuel Miranda, and what we have here today is a live stage performance that was filmed back in 2016. This was originally supposed to be a theatrical release for October 2021, but because of the pandemic, Disney decided to release it early, so thank you, Disney. Now, my exposure to Hamilton has been kind of limited. Like, I know it's been around for a while, but in all honesty, I've only listened to the soundtrack maybe 1 or 2 times. I always felt like there was something that I was missing when I was just listening to the soundtrack, so getting to see a clearer image of how the story was actually being played out was pretty satisfying. First off, I really enjoyed how differently it was shot from other live musicals. Now, with other live musicals, it always kind of felt like you would just see the stage or maybe a close-up of the actors, but it always seemed like the camera was shooting from one of the seats in the audience. This is definitely not the case for Hamilton. You see this musical from all sorts of places. I swear, sometimes it looks like the camera is shooting right there on stage while the actors are there performing. And when you have those cool shots combined with the rotating stage, some of these shots can be downright cinematic, and that's surprising to see for a live stage recording. Which, by the way, I'm really glad they decided to keep the live aspect in this recording. Especially now with the pandemic going on, it was really nice to get to listen to a live audience again, laughing and applauding along with you right there in your living room. As far as characters go, I totally dug how they painted the founding fathers. Like, at first I thought this was going to be some sort of boring history lesson where they're like, oh yes, the founding fathers were men of class, dignity, and nobility. No, they're a bunch of petty backstabbing jerks who would do anything to get their way. This musical does right by depicting them as human beings with complex emotions. For instance, even though Aaron Burr is supposed to be this story's villain, he's probably one of the more complex characters besides Hamilton himself. He and Hamilton definitely have their rivalry going on, but you still get to see them drinking, celebrating, and laughing together. Yeah, for sure they have their differences, but it comes off more as just two associates who have a really good knack for pissing each other off. I think the main reason why I have any sympathy for Burr is due to Leslie Odom Jr.'s amazing performance. In fact, every member of the supporting cast and the ensemble did a perfect job. They're probably my favorite part about the entire musical because literally every single member of the supporting cast brings this intense energy that makes the musical as entertaining as it is. Everyone just looks like they're having a blast with the whole experience, and on top of that, they all just sound absolutely perfect. Renee Elise Goldsberry as Angelica Schuyler just brings so much pain and passion into her role. Daveed Diggs, who plays my two favorite characters, Lafayette and Jefferson, is an absolute show stealer with all of the charisma in the world. And even though he's only in it for just a short amount of time, King George III himself, Jonathan Groff, well, he sings good and he spits a lot. Seriously, hats off goes to the cast for learning how to dance and make their cues while singing these really complex songs, which I gotta admit are nothing short of pure genius. Like, not only are most of these songs rap, but it's this very fast-paced, very energetic style of rap that has multiple intricate layers of dialogue. You're more than likely going to miss a few lines of dialogue here and there, so it's definitely going to warrant multiple viewings with the subtitles turned on. Surprisingly enough, the only thing that comes close to bugging me in this whole show is Lin-Manuel Miranda's performance as Hamilton. Now, that's not to say that he's horrible, it's just that the supporting cast completely blows him out of the water. Now, when he's good, he is good. He's got great technicality when he's rapping, it's just his singing voice and his acting that just doesn't always land. But let's be honest, this show is still his creation, and he totally deserves to be Hamilton because he's the one who gave us this smart, well-written musical. And despite any criticism that's going his way, something is telling me that he is doing just fine. It's funny because on paper, this story sounds too silly to be true. Like, hey, let's tell the story of Alexander Hamilton through rap, and let's make it sound good. Now that's a pretty tough challenge to accomplish, but Lin-Manuel Miranda nailed it. In the end, we have an amazing, well-written musical with an energetic cast that kept my attention from beginning to end. Even for the purists out there who aren't used to having rap in their musicals, this one is still definitely worth checking out. Now, apart from seeing Hamilton live in a front row seat, this is probably the next best experience that you're going to get, and I am definitely going to be watching it multiple times after this. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. Lastly, thank you so much for tuning in today and watching my review. If you want to critique my critique, or if you have a movie to suggest, let me know in the comments below. If you're new to my channel and you enjoyed my review, leave a like and subscribe. I got some more reviews coming up very soon.